Hey, boys and girls. This week you're going to be doing some different fraction simulations. And so I just kind of wanted to show them to you because there really aren't any great directions in the program itself. You start off with the intro here so you can kind of get a feel for how the program works. You can see there's like a single circle here, right? And so, and if you look, remember the bottom number, the denominator is the whole. So here they're saying 1 is the whole. So that's just a single whole, right? So you can just put that in there, and that's 1 out of 1, right? And you can change the whole here. You could change this, right? But no matter what, you could choose cakes. You can make line graphs. So it's kind of, this is like a neat way to play around with this. So if you make the denominator 2, now you have halves, right? And so depending on which shape you have halves, right? Half a cake, you put the other half on, now you got a whole cake, 2 out of 2, right? And so you can kind of mess around with this just to get a feel for how the program works. There's 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, right? 6, 6. And again, using different shapes and things like that, you can you can change the numerators and the denominators, which is really, really a neat way to visualize. I've actually never used a program like this before, but now that I've found it, I think it's a great resource for solving any kind of problem. So once you've played around with all these different shapes and messed around with some of the different fractions, then you can actually go into the game. So when you click on the game, definitely start with level 1, and I'll just kind of walk you through it. It's pretty simple. So this arrow here will actually change like how many pieces you're going to break this into. Okay. And then you have to create these shapes over here, and these are your choices, right? So if you wanted a whole, right, you would have to like pull up an entire whole. If you wanted a half, you'd pull up a half. If you wanted a third, you'd pull up a third. If you wanted additional blocks, maybe, somehow you had more than a whole or more than a third or something like that. So that's how you would do that. So and sometimes there's a little plus button here where you can add on another box as well. Okay, so go through all the levels. So it's basically you just like, I'll do the simplest one, 1/2. So you pull that up, you have a half, then you take that, you pull it over to the answer, and then it tells you, yes, you did that correctly. Okay, and so you go through as many levels as you can. It gets really tricky towards the end. I only went up to level 10. I don't know if it keeps going past that, but I know you guys can definitely do at least the first, 5 or so. So, and then the lab at the end here, this again is kind of similar to that, where you're going through and you're just trying to create each of the different ones here. So here's like you make a half, and then what would that look like in numbers? Okay, so if we pulled this, sorry, let's get rid of that. So here, right, if you wanted to make a half, boom, and then how would you show that in the numbers? So this one, you actually have to like put the numbers on there to represent each fraction. But again, this one's kind of free form. You can do this on your own. What's neat too is like if you wanted to make a mixed numeral, which the next one is on, you can add, or if you wanted to, you can make a improper fraction too. So like see the thing is like 3/3, right? 3/3 is a whole, right? 3/3, right? But you can make this improper. If you made this 4/3, and you're probably saying 4/3 doesn't even make any sense, Mr. A. How can you have 4/3? But you can. It's like if you had cakes that were cut into thirds and you had 4 pieces, you would have 4/3 of a cake. Now the other way to write this is 1 whole and 1/3, right? But here it's written improperly as 4/3, where the top number is larger than the bottom number, right? Numerator is larger. There's more parts than there are in a whole. So that's why we have more than 1 whole. Okay? So this is the lab, but the game definitely will probably take most of your time. But you can kind of mess around with the intro, you can mess around with the lab, but definitely play the game and see how many levels you can get through. All right, guys, there'll be another video for the second simulation. All right, have a great day.